Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are going live, and I wanted to talk about the never ending, the truth that we're seeking and that we're expanding upon and understanding and trying to customize our life and to understand that we are the beginning of the never ending expansion and we are the beginning of the ending and we're the ending of the beginning, meaning that we're turning into the eternal present. We're allowing ourselves to not be dictated by what the past says about our life or what the future says about our life or even what the present says about our life, but to be omnipresent and to be tapped into every aspect of ourselves and every doppelganger of ourselves, and just to be aligned to the vibration of God in so many different ways, in so many different realms, in so many different universes, that we allow ourselves to be intertwined and interconnected and understand that it's not here and it's not there and it's not black or white or right or wrong. It's not any of those things, but what it is just tapping into that quantum realm and that quantum acceptance, being able to accept that we are interconnected and that we're intertwined and that everything is simultaneous. So if we can allow ourselves to tap into that multiplicity of simultaneous energy, it will allow us to be ever present, ever knowing, and ever expanding. We can be forever and we can be eternal, and that we can breathe this internal life and this internal awareness to where we can be the grand rising itself, and that we can rise above everything that's trying to pin us down or put us in a box or make us feel small or make us feel not connected or lacking of something or lacking of this or that or anything that's perceptible. So when we go past the realm of perspective and the realm of perception itself, when we allow ourselves to have a perspective that is not based in bias and it's based solely on truth and wanting to know ourselves and to integrate ourselves fully with our emotions being allied to our vibrations, and also just allowing ourselves to see how we can change in the matter of an instant of just tapping into God's source energy in one moment and meditating upon our own selves. And as we're meditating upon our own selves, we can really get that sense of how we can release doubt, that we can release negativity, that the beginning of the end means that we're not losing the connection that we once had to our inner child, to our imagination, to the things that allow us to have exploration within ourselves. So when we allow ourselves to explore ourselves in such a deep, profound way, we allow ourselves to have this sense of self-discovery, but self-exploration, and we explore it to the fullest of our extent because it's existential. It is everywhere. It is diagonal, but it's not a straight line. It's not linear. So when we get past linearity and we get past all of these things that we make right or wrong, or we make an opinion about it, or even a feeling about it, when it's to the point where we don't have to have a feeling about it, when we just absolutely know, and it's not necessarily a belief, because when we know it within our hearts, within our minds, within our bodies, we absolutely know that the beginning of the end is the ending of the beginning. That means that there's newfound growth, there's a new journey, there's a new phase within your journey, there's a new wave of energy that is coming in, that is integrating the DNA, that is integrating the source codes, and it's expanding your Akashic record in such a way that it allows you to see what you really are and what you're really about and what you really want to strive for. And we allow ourselves to really see ourselves in a much different light. We see ourselves as that light, and we want to spread that message of favor, of anointing, of grace, of matrimony, and being majestic in challenging times and trusting our talents in those challenging times when we're facing adversity and we're going through circumstances or different experiences and different sensations, as we are actually accepting that we can allow ourselves to feel again, but in a more conscious way. When we allow ourselves to feel in a much more conscious way, we allow ourselves to actually have emotions that are real. We're actually tapping into reality when we're allowing ourselves to feel our sensitivity, our vulnerability, and humbling ourselves so that we can allow ourselves to not go from our ego, but we allow ourselves to go from the willpower of God's source energy. So understanding that there's nothing wrong with emotions. There's nothing wrong with vulnerability. There's nothing wrong with sensitivity. But now we're not going with a chicken with its head cut off, but we have a sense of direction. And we understand that it's only the beginning every time that we start again, every time that we're becoming more of ourselves and having this sense of grand rising. When we have a grand rising, we rise up like a phoenix from the ashes. Whatever was in the ashes is not who we are. Whatever was our trauma was not who we are. Whatever happened when we are a child, we can finally accept that inner child within ourselves and bring it back with open arms. So it's not about being here or there, and it's not even just about being present. That's part of it. But when we tap into this omnipresence, we can allow ourselves to experience everything. And it's not just one way, and it's just not one perspective, but it's the perspective. It's that willpower that we get from our source of energy. We allow ourselves to channel that willpower and that source of energy in such a transcendent way that we allow ourselves to alleviate anything that tries to hinder that vibration or go against that vibration. So when we understand that God has so many different ways of expanding, of teaching, of integrating, of allowing the flow of energy, and when we allow that flow of energy, we allow ourselves to be everything. We allow ourselves to encompass everything, and we encapsulate that energy in such a way that we become the environment. We become that source of electromagnetic kinetic source energy, and we allow ourselves to not be based in what we think is just perceptible, what we think is believable. And sometimes we allow ourselves to believe the assumptions, the beliefs that we have within our lives. We can make ourselves believe that we're lacking of something. We can make ourselves believe that we're not favored. We can make ourselves believe, but until we really know and receive and to accept and to embody and to express, then it becomes a spontaneous combustion of energy. And then it allows you to be in your own source of your own realm. You become your own source of creation. You become your own embodiment of Christ consciousness. And you allow it to not be based in linearity. You don't allow it to be based in this or that or anything that's just here or now, but it's everywhere. It's diagonal. It's in many different sacred geometric shapes. So it's not just one way, and it's not just going about it in one perspective, but it's aligning yourself to every type of parallel aspect of reality, of yourself, of your emotions. When you tap into that quantum acceptance, you accept that everything is generated and everything is energy. So money is energy. Your emotions are energy. Your prophetic words are energy. The way that we meditate, it's all energetic. So when we don't think that it's not energy, everything is that source of energy. So it's just about how we play with the energy, how we flow with the energy, how we allow the energy to flow through us. So if everything is energy, and we allow ourselves to understand that if we tap into everything with empowerment, with truth, with wanting to bring that abundance, we can be successful and happy and prosperous. But we have to align our vibration to that and not forget what we are and not to lose ourselves in the moment, but to just understand what we are and what we're about and what we really want. So if you really want a new car, you can't always speak that doubt that you're not going to get that new car or that you can sell your other car so you can get that other car. You can't always speak from a place of doubt and expect victory and expect empowerment and to expect good thoughts and emotions and circumstances that come to you that are attracted to you that are very positive, that are more exuberant of source energy. So if we just limit the amount of times that we're negative about our vibration, about ourselves, about how we're carrying ourselves and carrying the message and carrying the sacred flame of creation to the next generation of light workers. So these are prophets, they can be old and young, they are children of the cosmos, they are earth angels, they are star seeds from different planets, and understanding this, that nothing is just what you think it is. So nothing is just beyond the realm of perception. Nothing can be created from anything. So you can literally create from nothing. We don't think that we can do this. There could be someone that knocks on your door and that wants to be your business partner. Just miraculously, some reason this person was like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but God moves on people to help you get to the next stage of your journey. Or you might find out that you go to that bakery shop and you might meet your husband or your wife there. And it wasn't about going to the bakery shop. It wasn't about doing that said thing, but it was just the energy of acting on something. Like saying you want to really buy this 80-inch TV. You've been putting it off for a very long time. But then you do it, and God Source Energy finds out a way for it to happen. You use your Target card, you use your debit card, and you're able to pay for it. And then something else happens, which generates this domino effect of energy that everything starts to fall into place, and that you get reciprocated that money back. Or that it sets off this chain of manifestations that are more in vibrational alignment with who you are. That's why I say it's the beginning of the end. And I'm quoting Winston Churchill. I'm not using it in the same way that he's using it, but it's very essential. So it's the end of the beginning, and it's the beginning of the end. What this means is that you always have another shot at this. You always have redemption. You always have another way that you can go about this. And understanding that it is always a new day, and you always have the choice, do I want to seize the day, or do I want to let the day get past me? So it's always your choice if you want to seize the day, if you want to vibrate the energy of that said day, and not to let the day get away from you. So that's very big in my opinion. So it allows you to really see what you really want, what you're about, what you really want to seek for. And it allows you to see that there are many options. So we are not limited in the way that we create. We're not limited in the way that we can integrate and change and be and to understand. And we can allow ourselves to be that source of energy, and to vibrate that source of energy and maintain that source of energy. Because that's the maintenance that we have. That's the homework that we have. It's, are you going to maintain that awareness? Sorry, I was typing a lot of different things. I didn't know there was an update on TikTok, so that was very new for me. So I'll know next time. So my message for you is that it's the beginning of grand risings, meaning that it's the end of stale realities, the end of manifestations that do not resonate with you, of the relationship patterns that we have with people, places, and things, and understanding that it is temporary and that we don't have to be attached to all of these things that we feel like we need to be attached to. So it's just disassociating yourself from feeling like you have to be on point all the time, that you have to be perfect all the time. Nobody is perfect all the time. Even people who are CEOs and have it together financially and all that, some of them can have the stressful time of their life. So not everybody is always going to be right on point. And I don't think light workers are this way either, because we're all going through our own journey. We're all trying to see what we really are. We're all trying to find out what this journey is about. Why are we here? Why do we channel? Why do we meditate? And when you always come up with the transcendent reasons to go about your day and to find a reason to live, to laugh, to love, and to be that aura and that energy that vibrates that alone, your life will be so amazing and miraculous and supernatural. There will be supernatural events that happen in our lives. There will be crazy times in our lives. There will be times where God will move on you to do something and it sounds absolutely nutty. But having that obedience, having that faith, having that prophecy that we live by is ultimately the best thing that we can do for ourselves. So this is like a psychic code that we live by. And it's not about scraping to the top. It's not about finding your place. But it's just being in your own lane and being who you are and vibrating as you want to vibrate as that source of energy. It's not about wanting to be this glorified guru or conducting retreats or having all these clients. That's just, I have nothing against people making money either. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that it's not about that. It's about the energy. It's about the frequency. It's about the vibration. It's about the journey itself. It's about the relationships that you have. It's about the integration of past lifetimes. It's about also, and it's not always just about training itself, but it's just training who you want to be. Waking up in the morning and accepting that person that's looking back at you in the mirror. Sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, is accepting yourself, accepting your flaws, accepting your hiccups, and accepting that you're not perfect. And that's beautiful in and of itself. And every day that you wake up, you know that this is the beginning of the end, and this is the end of the beginning. And then understanding that I have the opportunity, the courageous opportunity to seize the day, or I can let it slip past me. And I can give my power away to all my thoughts, to all my emotions, to my sense perceptions, to my illusions, and just live in a diluted sense like 6 months, 20 times. So now we can step away from the delusion, and now we can actually go about it in a much different way. What I mean by this is that if we go about it in a different way and not a negative way, it means that we're changing the polarity, we're changing the flavor of how we are cooking something. And just because the food did not taste as good as it did the day you cooked it, doesn't mean that the next day it might taste a lot better. Sometimes we have to allow stuff to marinate. Sometimes we have to allow stuff to flow. Sometimes it's just allowing something to really manifest itself and bake and marinate and alleviate all of that negative charge so that there can be a positive charge that can flow through you. So it's not always about shooting the trigger first. It's not about always feeling like you have to shoot the shotgun, but sometimes it's just being precise in the way that you channel your energy, like a sniper. You know, a sniper doesn't go out guns blazing. It waits for the attack. It waits for the shot. It waits for it has that direct line to that shot, and then it takes it, and it has its eye on the bullseye, and there's a level of precision there. So when there's a level of precision there, then there's something that can be really created in a very amazing way, because you can allow yourself to be experiencing from a state where it feels like you're on psychedelics, but it's not quite like that. But it's a heightened state, it's a euphoric state, but it's a meditative state of Christ consciousness. That's what my guides were just telling me when I was relaying this message to you. And also I would like to say that I have a YouTube channel, White Wolf, the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom, Instagram, whitewolf4741, and BitChute, White Wolf, the Oracle 23_@ And also I have PayPal link and Cashapp. Also, I'll work within your budget. That's what Spirit told me to do for people. If you would like a reading or a healing or an activation or anything like that, I'll work within your budget, and we can discuss that when you message me and stuff. So, but back to what I was saying is that it's a state where it's like existential bliss, but it's reciprocated internally, externally, and it's not experienced in a linear fashion. It's experienced in a fashion to where there are supernatural beings on this planet that they are able to tap into every aspect and be in 1,000 different places at once and move things with their minds, and their chakras are fully integrated, and they are able to transverse time and space like our higher selves. They're a lot like our higher selves, but they're not. They're able to be in many different places at once, be every aspect of the 144,000, but also the doppelganger selves, and also just the selves that are maybe business peoples. and also the monad, the I am presence, the 12 aspects of ourselves in different realms and different planes and different universes that are brothers / sisters and cousins that are on the same path as us. So we understand that we are not having just a linear journey. We're not having, it's a singular truth. It's a truth that comes from the same place. It just comes from a different source, in a sense. Or it's the same truth, it just comes from, like I said, a different source. I could have said that backwards. My guides are telling me not to worry about it. Because it's about the energy of the words instead of saying it right or getting that right. Because, I mean, I've been live before and I've said something backwards, but you know, it's the same sentiment. You guys get it. Or there's people who don't get it, because there's a lot of people on TikTok, when I say these things, they're like, oh, who's this guy? And I rejoice in it, because that's real, and that's how I feel about things, and how I feel it deeply that I need to channel. And every time before I go live, I always give a prayer out to Spirit to allow me to deliver the message with integrity, with honesty, with love, with truth. Because I don't want to get on here and go with my mind. I don't want to go with what's up here. I don't want to go with what's up here, because going with what's up here isn't always going from the source of all things. So when you don't go from your mind, you're going with divine orchestration, you're going with divine obedience, and you're leading with that source of energy that will always carry you and lift you up in the highest service and the highest love and the highest light, because you're becoming the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom. This is how I simplify and condense the densities of consciousness, because most human beings are actually migrating into fifth density of consciousness, because a lot of us are at fourth density. We're tapping into love within ourselves, and then we're tapping into fifth density, where we're upping our game and starting to be more service to others, and we understand this love and this wisdom, and then turns into sixth density, which turns into light and unity. That's why I say, because this makes it simple to understand the densities of consciousness, and then seventh density, next universe. So the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom, if you break it down, that you are an oracle, you channel your guides, your higher self, to the physical body to not limit the physical mind, right? But then you tap into light. You're accepting more of the light within yourself. And as you're accepting that light within yourself, then you're vibrating from that sense of love. But then you're unifying it with wisdom. So if you don't want to have a whole spiel about the densities of consciousness, I've made plenty of videos about it, like years ago when I've started my journey 3 years ago. If you need just that simple thing, if you don't get anything from my video, that's a simplification of the densities of consciousness. And also, I'd like to say that when I do this, I'm helping my throat chakra actually give the message better. So I'm not doing it for a look. I'm not doing it for pizzazz or anything like that. I'm doing it for my throat chakra, because a long time ago, Spirit told me, like, when I do these videos and I smoke and stuff, it helps my throat chakra. So a lot of natural tobacco, actually, and a lot of the Native Americans used it so that they would actually get into a higher state of consciousness, and it would actually help their throat chakras. So we're going to do a meditation as well. So if you're going to take part in this meditation, I would highly advise that focus on an object, lay down, whatever is comfortable for you to meditate, whatever makes you feel like most truthful. I'm never going to tell you how to meditate. I don't tell you what you want to hear. I say what needs to be said for my higher self. So if something doesn't resonate, just take what resonates and what doesn't resonate and throw it in the trash. At the end of the day, it's up to you. And I'm not here to decide anything for anybody. And I always like to say that I am just a guy in a hat and a jacket and smoking a cigar. I'm just like any other guy on his spiritual journey. I'm nobody special. So if I can do it, you can do it. So we're going to do a meditation. Oh, I read your comment. Literally smoking a cigarette. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. So that's awesome that we're all just kind of hanging out here. That's beautiful. So we're going to do a meditation. So also at the end of this video, I'll give an announcement of the links that you can find me, and also about readings. I'll work within your budget. Just discuss it with me. I used to have a $50 special, but I stopped that, and Spirit told me to do that. So without further ado, we're going to do a meditation. So this is a healing meditation, an activating meditation, and also a meditation to where you can feel empowered and loved, and you can tap into your real self. So without further ado, this is White Wolf. Allow yourself to breathe and receive. Take a deep breath. Exhale. And I want you to be able to understand that nothing is beyond what you think is real. So make everything as real as you can make it. Make everything accentuated. Allow it to marinate. Allow it to flow. Allow it to be empowering and powerful, to see that you can have the power of our archangels and our guides and our higher selves, so that we can finally know the mind, we can know the body, and we can know the soul as being one entity, as being one source of creation, as being an individuated creation, but also allowing it to be an omnipresent creation. So omnipresent means that it is everything. It is the encapsulation of energy. It is the inner child entering your heart. It is the healing of the shadow and integration of the shadow. And it's also just understanding that when we understand that this is the beginning of the end and the ending of the beginning, this means that we can be fully aligned and present of this current reality. So allow this meditation to be a renewal, and allow it to help you with your relationship patterns, your toxic patterns, your past life transgressions, whatever happened there. Allow them to be integrated and healed and forgiven and let go and release, and then receive and implement and then embody. Because we don't need so much baggage, we need a luggage rack. We don't need all that baggage. We don't need to think about our childhood trauma. We don't need to think about the past, and we don't need to be so focused on the future. But when we are the eternal present, we are the never-ending omnipresence of God Source energy. And when we seize the day and don't let the day get past us, we are allowing ourselves to assess everything and to be proactive instead of retaliation, instead of violence, instead of anger and aggression and insensitivity. We tap into our vulnerability and our sense and sensibility. So everybody take a deep breath. Exhale. And just know that you can expect the unexpected. You can see the miraculous in your life. That the supernatural can be a thing of normalcy. Instead of it just being, oh, you're just imagining things. Oh, it's just your imagination. And not be based in what is instead of what it could be more of. That's a very bold statement when it could be what it could be more of instead of just what is. Instead of this is it. But what it could be more of that. That's when everything can be really beautiful. And always just vibrate that sense of being truthful. When you're going by what's truthful, you're stamping out and canceling out what is not truthful. And knowing that you don't always have to fire the trigger like a shotgun. But sometimes it's just taking your aim, taking that deep breath, having your eye on the bullseye, allowing that psychedelic, meditative Christ consciousness state to be like, that's a for sure thing. Hearing the whispers of spirit and hearing that obedience from God and allowing that to reshape everything in your life, in a sense. Allowing that to be the vantage point to where you are able to create in a heightened state of awareness. You're able to focus on that light, that love, and that wisdom that is channeled from your higher self, wanting to encompass this vessel. And then you become a supernatural origin of creation. You originate from that starseed, from that earth angel, from that prophet that is realizing itself once again. And it's beautiful when you're able to channel that absolute reality, because you realize that you are the infinite reality meeting that absolute reality. And it coalesces and it's intertwined and it's not a straight line. And you're realizing that we may have lost that connection in the beginning of our lives. Maybe some of you for 30 years, for 40 years, for 60 years. But for that split moment that you recognize and accept God within your life, you recognize and accept the Creator, accept God's source energy, accept everything as the unfolding of the flower of life. And there's no resistance, there's no fighting, and it's just turning the other cheek. And not that you're turning the other cheek so people can roll over you and steamroll you, but you're just dodging all of that other stuff that does not fill you with your preferences, with your divine expression, and also your divine orchestration and your obedience to your higher self, to God, to wanting to create at a great rate of speed. And it's understanding that we have a responsibility and accountability to carry the torch for the new future of prophets, of children of the cosmos, earth angels, supernatural beings that people have not yet tapped into, that are the likes of Ra, that are the likes of Archangel Michael, that we don't know who these beings are, but we know that they are of the highest love and the highest light, and they're trying to assist to break away from these ancient gates that are closed in on us, from these chains that are binding us to these patterns, to these relationships, to these things that are temporary, and to allow ourselves to express unconditionality and being non-attached. And seeing how beautiful that can be, seeing how beautiful that can unfold and how powerful it can be. And just make it almost like you're about to get ready for a workout. Like you're just stretching, you're getting yourself a cup of coffee, you're getting that day and that mojo started before you experience the circumstances, the people, the places, the things, the work, and everything, and seeing how you can be the grand rising before the grand rising happens, before the excitement happens, before the spontaneous combustion of energy happens. You can be the happening before the beginning of the ending happens, in a sense. But it's not an ending like your journey ends here, but the ending is the beginning of that wave and that ripple effect and that domino effect of consciousness. And from this moment on, Allow the grand rising to be in full effect. Allow yourself to be the reason for the causes, for the effects, for the manifestations, for the appearances, and to be that electromagnetic kinetic source energy that generates everything within its own awareness. And tapping into every source of energy that comes from God. And we know that where our direct line is to that source of creation. We know where that is. We know what it is. And we don't disregard it because we know that it is the grounding and the anointing and the truth of God's source energy. So take one last deep breath. Exhale. And so it is. So thank you guys for attending this meditation. Also, I'd like to let you guys know that I have a YouTube channel, White Wolf the Oracle Loveline Wisdom. Also, BitChute, White Wolf the Oracle 23_@. Also, Instagram, White Wolf 4741. And also that I have 2 Cashapp links, PayPal, and that I will work within your budget. So if you would like a reading or anything of that nature, just know that I'll work with you. We can discuss it and just how I can be of service to all of you. But we just did a meditation. And if anybody missed that meditation or just came into the feed, we were just hanging out, doing a meditation, and that I'm very blessed that I get to do this. This is my passion in life, and I love just doing these messages and doing impromptus, and every message I do is an impromptu. So it's just me going from what my higher self wants and just knowing that it is the message that is needed. So if any of you feel uncomfortable in your divine skin, I'm here to tell you, be comfortable. Do not be afraid to spread that love, to spread that light, to spread that anointing, that grace, and to just spread your love and to spread your awareness to the entire universe. Even when you don't even feel like that is happening, just know that you have a greater purpose here than what we think we do. We are very anointed, we are very loved, we are very sacred, and I'm just here to tell you, don't be afraid to spread that message. Don't be afraid to be who you really want to become. Don't be afraid of your gift. Don't be afraid of who you're going to become. And don't allow this world of negativity, this world of disdain and disrespect and the haters and the negativity to bring you down. That's going to give you more fuel. That's going to give you more fuel to counterbalance all of this negativity in this world. So even if your family comes at you, even if your friends, your coworkers, or if they don't accept you as a light worker, just know that that is happening for a reason. It's happening for a reason because it is just allowing you to transmute that energy. It's allowing you to see that you have a brand new life and that it might cost you, but it's costing you all the things that are limiting you. It's costing you all the things that are holding you back. It's costing you all the things that are trying to prohibit you from ascending higher. So if anything that I can say that gives you power and that gives you empowerment and that allows you to be yourself, that's one thing I wanted to say before I got off of here. And that meditation I thought was very powerful. So also I'd like to take the time and say, if anything I say does not resonate, if anything I say does not resonate with you or does not compute, or just take what resonates and what doesn't, and go about your day. The only thing that I do at the end of the day is just relay the message, say what needs to be said, and try to be my authentic self so that people can see the truth and also want to work on themselves and expand within themselves. That's all I'm here to do at the end of the day. So thank you guys. Love you. I hope that you enjoyed this meditation, or if you just popped onto the feed and you just got this quick message. So thank you. And also, if you would like a reading, I got 2 payment links there. I'll work within your budget. That's something that Spirit told me to do. So I will work with you. I'll work within your budget and all that good stuff. And also YouTube, White Wolf, the Oracle of Bloodline Wisdom. Instagram, whitewolf4741. Excuse me. Sorry about that. And also BitChute, White Wolf, the Oracle 23_@. And also you can find me on TikTok, obviously. So thank you guys so much. God bless and namaste. I appreciate you, and I hope that you have a wonderful evening, morning, day, or night. God bless.